I'm going to start with the the HMI of the. I'm going to log out on this because this is the view of the technician. So here is all the information that you need for quick analysis of the working of the robot. Not the sorry, of the optical. This will be your warnings. If it's in yellow, it means that it's something that you can be noticed, but it won't stop the effect. It won't stop the machine. If like it's in red,
versus an alarm kind of.
Yeah, exactly, okay. Exactly. Let me show you. This will be an alarm. It's in red. It's showing alarm. You know how to work e-stop. You just twist it, and it will. This will reset it. Now it's saying safety loop is open. This is meaning that this area of the optical is having an alarm in the loop of this general area. So
we're talking about zoning.
Zoning, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I didn't remember the name. Thanks, Dennis. So this zoning is saying that this safety loop is in warning. We need to go back to the HMI to clear that zoning alarm. Let's say you wanted to have the optic bypass back there. You could put it in remote and have it sort manually. Now, since it's in zoning alarm, it will not permit me to start it. Hey, Dennis, can you do me a favor and restart the zoning alarm, please?
If you bypass it here, do you also?
Oh, sorry, I was already in manual, so it's all right, Dennis. Oh no, that's it. Safety loop. No, he still needs to do it.
If you bypass it here, do you still have to bypass it in the HMI?
You have to, I'm not bypassing nothing from here.
But if you do.
No, yeah, but if I'm putting in manual, okay, and you're not bypassed back there,
right?
You will see, it will stop you. It will say optical's not in automatic.
Okay.
So
can you run this in manual and run the system at the same time?
Yeah. Okay. If it's in manual, let's say there's a communication error between the optics and the HMI. And you say, okay, I'll put it in bypass, and I'll just look if I can have it running without having the signal set. You could put it here and have it sorting.
Okay.
Now that's because of the calibration bar. I forgot about it, but the calibration bar is all white and it's showing ejection. So that's what will happen. It worked. It worked. Merci. So that's how you would start it. You could either do it with the button or with the screen.
Okay.
Stop and reset with the screen of the button.
Okay.
Sometimes if pressing 5 seconds on the button helps. On the HMI 2 is the same thing. It's kind of a deeper recess. You just hold it for 5 seconds.
Okay.
So I'll show you a little bit. So this keeps a log of all the alarms, all the warnings that you add. I think for 7 days, or I'm not sure exactly. There's a limit to that log, and you can scroll down on it. It will show the warnings after the alarms. So you'll have to scroll down after the alarm to start showing you it's screening from type to panel. Okay, here is the temperature place where you see the temperatures of the panel. Let's say I will show you a little bit. So my sensor is here. If I want to know if it's working correctly, see, my finger is making it move warmer. So if you want to have a deeper analysis of it, you can press on it, and then you'll see in live for the minute. Minute is usually not that important because it's such a short period of time. I usually put it at an hour or 5 hours, and then it'll show you the way it's working. If you're tired of seeing that and you want to go back to alarms, you just close it, and it'll come back to where your usual alarms are. Lighting is the temperature of the lighting box. Okay, yes, yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'll close it down. So lighting is the temperature of your lighting box. There's two separate temperature probe in there, and it will tell you from left to right what type of temperature there is. So it's about saying 20 degrees, so it's probably around 20 degrees around here. Sensor here is your sensor inside of the camera. So this should be very stable. If it's not stable, then you might have either a Peltier effect on the top that I'll show you that you need to clean every night. That's getting dusty and not cooling properly. So sensor here. Here you have all the temperatures of your cameras and it's written what the central camera, the right camera. This is what you want to expect. Those sawtooth kind of effect of I'm warming up, I'm cooling down. I'm warming up, I'm cooling down. I'm warming up. See, if it's not doing that and it's doing like a steady increase, it means either it's too dirty or there's something wrong with the Peltier effect on top. I'll show you what the Peltier effect are a little bit later on when we'll go on the conveyor. So this is where all your temperature will be. You'll have warnings of temperature, and lighting temperature alarm will start getting red if there's an alarm here to tell you what's happening. Either if, let's say, if I would close the valve of the
airflow.
Yeah, this air pressure would start getting up, or if the compressor is starting to, let's say you have two compressors, just one that started, and you're consuming too much air, this will show up as an alarm saying your air is a little bit too low. I think 60 is the point. No, it's actually, this one's at 50. 50 is the point where we're saying that there's an alarm. A warning will pop up at 60 saying, hey, I think there's something wrong with their air pressure. And that's about it for the temperature stuff. Here is your readings. Lighting and voltage. This will be for your lighting power supplies. It'll tell you the voltage. This should always be the same amount. It will be fixed at 123 if I'm correct, and it will always be at 123. If it's not at 123, it'll get a warning, and then you'll get an alarm. So this, you see, I opened it up. It's steady at, let's say I'll click on it. If you click on it, there's another reading. So 109 is the reading for the power supply. Lighting current is the same thing. You'll have the current, it's at the same thing. This one would be at 15.33 current, and the other one, let's say, is the same current. So you have equal amount of current on both power supplies.
That's an amp, I think.
This is in amps, yeah, that's in amps. Air pressure, same thing. You can see air pressure live, let's say 5 hours. See, you see the compressor starting up and slowing down, starting up, and it will keep on doing that saw blade effect. While running, it won't do that because usually it stays a little bit higher, so it won't go as low. But this is seeing visual aspect that it's working good.
Are the airbags are tied into the belt sensors, right?
Yep.
The high-speed belt.
Yep.
Which shows as a separate entity from the optical, or
yes, I will show you. There's two separate. This is where I'm going after. I'll explain how the auto tracking is working.
Okay.
Humidity. I don't think you'll use it much. It's for keeping a controlled environment on our cameras. Our cameras, and the spectral response of the material is sensitive to humidity. The more humidity, it creates a kind of a shield. So we have a humidity controlling sensor in there that will, there's set points to warning and high, but this should be pretty standardly at 35. This is, what you see there is the Peltier effect is like a air conditioning unit. That's why it's going up and down, because humidity and temperature are,
allowing it to condensate. And, okay.
So that's the first screen about what you need to know in the first screen. Let's say you log in. It'll be the same, yeah, the same number, blackjack, 2121. So that's it. You have all that you have accessible. Ejection would be your material. Let's say this optical will shoot OBB and brown fiber. That would be OCC and OBB. OBB is box board, like say cereal box and all. We'll be ejecting up all the colors, here the colors, and the brown fiber is ejected up too. On this one, all the plastic will be ejecting down, and if I'm correct with metal, it's all down. So any color, any...
It's actually blowing the metal, or it's just going to the center section?
No, it's blowing. When there's nothing, it's going to be like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So let's say I do some stuff. Oh, I don't remember exactly what happened. I'll try to save, and I will close without saving.
Gotcha.
Then I would come back again inside, ejection, and everything will be at, so taking pictures of those and having that in the logs is a good, I usually do a picture myself when I fuss with that so I can come back to where the set points are, because sometimes this one is pretty easy because everything's in it. If you want to change it all at one spot, you can press the corner like that.
Oh, okay.
And if you have no change, see, now there's a change. If I come back to where it won't say, oh, you came back to where it was all initially.
Before you started?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one is a little bit more complicated, so that usually I take a picture of it, and then I can go back to what is. So group 2 is another, there's two ways of going about, two strategy on this optical. I think we'll start with group 1, and you have another group that's doing a little bit different. If you want to activate that group 2, you'll have to press on the X mark, selected group here, and save. So now this group will be in effect. So this one, what it does is shooting all the plastic down, and the OCC will stay in the middle, and the fiber will go up. That's all the box board will go. Oh no, the fiber. That means that it will be news, white paper, and news. News.
Newspaper.
Yeah, and white paper will go up, and the brown and OBB won't do nothing. It'll pass right through. Yeah. So let's start. Let's just put it back at group 1, and then I'll save. The other one here is purge. I don't think you have a loop here, so I'll go quick on this one. This is just to explain what it is. Is sometimes opticals are into infinite loops. Let's say you have black plastic, and somehow it shoots it up, and it would go round and round and round and round, and the plastic would go up. You could say the purge would be like 2 minutes. Every 2 hours you'd do 2 minutes of purging, so you'd clear that.
Just blows it off,
No, it just does nothing.
Oh,
it just doesn't eject, and then it goes back to usually it's on a refu line, that kind of purge.
Gotcha.
So this one, I don't think you'll need it. There's no infinite loop here, but I wanted to explain quickly what it does. So. Maintenance is going to be the place where you're going to go the most. All the bottom, all the diagnostic is there. If you have an alarm, well, okay, slow. If there's an alarm, it'll pop in the red here and tell you what's what. So if there's no red, good news. If there's a warning, there should be a warning here. See, ejection box platforms in maintenance position. So this railed in is pulled out. This will pop up at your HMI saying, hey, there's something wrong, you're gonna put it all in the middle. It's gonna
show in the little section of the opticals.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so, Dennis. Maintenance position is shown in the. Yes. So there's a pop-up telling you, hey, go see your opticals. I'm not sure it's saying exactly that the maintenance door.
I think it says platform. Or
Platform, okay, it does say it. Okay, that's good that it says it. So this is where you'll see all the pop-ups of the warnings. Input. When you have lights that are on, it'll show you input here. Analog, I don't think you'll use it much. It's temperature-wise. It's a little bit like, since here, you got the graph and the voltage at the same time. So
like a combination screen.
yeah, it's this screen here, this part here, combined in just here at the same time. But usually, people don't use it much, but it's a feature that we have, so I'm showing it to you. This is the thing you'll be using the most. So toggle lighting. So this is, well, you'll toggle the lighting. If there's a lighting current low, means usually that one of your bulbs is gone. It's sensing that there's less current than usual, so you'll open it up. I'll show you when we go inside how to put it into the maintenance position, and then you'll see you don't have to crawl underneath. You'll see all your lighting, and then you could open it up and change it.
Now, is there still like a lighting test that goes along with that? Did you use a tile or a plate for?
That was the plank. No.
You don't do that? Okay.
No, I don't do that. I'm doing the calibration. Usually, you don't need to recalibrate. It all depends. But if you get a PMI, let's say two a year, once a year PMI, we do the calibration every time.
Okay.
So it's part of the PMI.
But generally, it's not something you're running into on a regular basis, like the old one where it just loses the white-black balance.
No. Ours is a little bit more stable than the Pelank, but it's a little bit more complex to do.
Okay.
So there's
Trade-off,
there's pros and cons. I'll show you where to place the bar if ever we need to have it done external by the phone.
Okay.
So this is where it's supposed to be. So I think I'll do a film with him only, so he'll film it all out. He'll show you exactly how to position the thingy and
Right.
because it's going to be stored inside of that. The thing to remember is not to put your fingers on it.
Right.
You gotta stay pristine white. I'll show him how to paint it. I'll show you what procedure we need to do to have it done perfectly. And the lighting cabinet and a camera,
Clean, dust-free.
perfectly clean, inside and out. But I'll show him when we do our one-on-one with the camera. So that's how you toggle lighting. So I'll close it down. So where we're at, where's toggle lighting here? If you want to see if...
On this side, I'm sorry.
No problem. And then every night you need to cycle the valves. So cycling the valve is an easy process. No one should be inside of it.
Is that the equivalent of the old auto clean on the blank?
Yep,
Okay.
exactly the same. So you start it. Then you hear. I usually start it and do something else, but I keep in my back of my head.
Pause.
Yep, if it pauses. If it does pause, then I try to remember if where about it did it. I either restart it or redo it. So let's say I hear that it's done it like a couple of seconds ago. So now I know it's at 40. Let's say single nozzle once. I press in 45 and then begin. Oh, that's not.
Next one. Okay.
Let's say I had pressed and it was doing nothing, then you know it's this one. So 46 will always be like reading. Reading, you start from the left to the right. So you gotta have the material coming to your back and you start to the left. So when you're in front of it, it's backwards.
Right.
So first one will be at your left and at your right.
Whatever.
so at your right. But when you need to speak to people, let's say we speak online at Machine X representative, it will always be in a flow material. It's the standard. Flow to your back, left to the set. We say left lighting will be it, and all that is the same principle. If you say left lighting, it will be to the left while the material is coming to your back.
Facing the direction.
Yeah,
the material
that's it.
flow.
Yeah. So there's 2 nozzle bar in this one. I won't do the top one because it'll shoot on my calibration bar, but it would be the same principle. You'd be pressing the top one, and then you'd be selecting multiple nozzle cycles and press begin. It'll go. I think it does it 2 times. So that's it. Does 2 times after it stops. Usually
At the same time or not?
you don't want to do that because then you get confused.
Okay.
But anyway, there's no option of doing it. Let me, I'm not exactly 90 something. Single nozzle once. More.
There's 125 in the old.
Okay. 112.
112.
Yeah. So yes. So that's how you clean out the nozzle. Every day should be fine. If let's say it's missing 1 nozzle, it's not that big of a deal. If it's missing 2 in a row, then you're starting to say, well, I would need to do it now. Because if your material is that wide, then it'll just kind of go through. Yeah, you're missing it. So I would.
Are they like Mac valves, or are they something
Yes,
different?
Mac valve.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they're pretty similar to the Pelanx. I
Okay.
think so.
Those aren't too bad to change. Yeah.
No, I'll show you how to change it. I'll have a guy filming it while I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'll do it with you guys live, but he won't be able to monitor it. So
Right.
I'll do it close hand with him. So that's all about what you see here in the program. There's dashboard here. The dashboard is statistics. Now it'll show nothing. I might do a roundabout with all you guys after, because it's seeing no material. But you can record it here. Time range if you want to have time span for 5 minutes, for 8 minutes, for 10 minutes. Refresh rate, I would suggest keeping it mid-range so you're not consuming too much data processor, but you can slow it down if you needed more, but I would not suggest leaving it all the time at 1 because it would consume too much. So I'll put it at 10 right now. That's the time range, and this is the time that the selector will keep the memory in. Yeah, there's here a way to settings would be this is the IP address of this. If you want it in imperial or in metric, this will be here. French and English, but I think you'll keep it in English.
That would be helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want it? Do you want it in imperial, in pounds, or in kilograms?
Let's do imperial.
Okay. So we'll have it in imperial. There's a way to save it somewhere. Okay. So where's that again? Is it because there's no data?
There's no data. Yeah.
That might be because it's no data, but or is it that? Bell coverage. This will be useful. We'll use it while it's running.
Is that like a percentage of the?
Yes, it's gonna show you where the valves are most activated. If there's a, let's say,
flow area.
yeah, if there's a 90-degree feeding, it's not a ballistic now. It won't do that. But let's say it was a 90-degree feeding it would be all to one side,
Right.
and then the spread of material wouldn't be that great. So you could see that all the activity of the material is shifted.
Okay.
So then, with that, we use to optimize the flow and the spread out on the material. So I'll go about it again with you next week when we'll have material. We'll be able to break it down and you'll see a little bit what's happening. So So let's say I'll.
ITV, can you show them all the optical read like
That's actually. No, but it's sensitive material that I don't want on film because it's private data. It's our. I'm not allowed to show that. No, because it's our.
$10 they're gonna have
No, it's gonna cost more than that. No, it's just because it's our private software and they don't have access to it anymore. But if there's some issue, I might go around, but not on camera. So that's how you go about. Usually you leave it distant. Since I'm fussing with it, it's in manual right now. But you can see that it's all grayed out when it's in remote. So this means that the HMI is controlling it.
Yeah, oh, that's helpful. You can just glance.
Yeah, that's it. It's easy way. The tower light is saying the same thing. See, now I'm in manual because I'm in white, and when I'm in remote, there's no white.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
You can really see it.
The green saying, oh, I'm ready to go. I'm on standby.
Yellow,
Orange.
standby.
No, green. Green steady. Green is I'm sorting.
Okay.
Green,
Oh, okay.
green flashing means, hey, I'm ready, but
I'm not doing anything.
nobody's asking me to work. And orange saying there's a warning. You should come and look, and maybe there's something that's starting to go wrong. It will be the air pressure. Now it's the ejection platform. So if you're back there and you look and you say, oh, I got to start my things up. Oh man, the platform hasn't been removed. So we need to go and remove it from here. So this is orange. That's why it's higher up on the, like the food chain, I would say. So red would be the top one. So now there's no red. I won't do it because it'll have to reset it and all.
Yeah.
But red will be the top one. Orange saying, hey, there's something. And the other one is, I'm ready to work, but press on the start button and while it'll check my bar. So I won't do it.
Right.
So this is what the light is telling you.
Gotcha.
Let's move along a little bit on this side. Oh, okay, I'll show you the maintenance here on this one, and I'll cut a little bit of a... This is the fan for the AC unit. If you clean that up, don't rev the fan with the air, because it will reach 10,000 RPMs, and this bearing is not made for turbo action. So you just, if there's something caught in there, you can blow a little bit of air, but don't start revving this up because it'll be warming the bearing so much that it won't last and it'll start to seize. So this is just a warning, heads up that turbos have cooling inside of them, and this does not.
Why don't we have a filter? But others don't have either.
Yes, that's a good add-on. Yes, some put some Velcro here, stuffs of Velcro, and just stock a filter. That's really a good idea. And then you just.
This place is filthy. It's terrible.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Most of them do.
I went up to that one day and it was just covered.
Totally.
Clean it off. It's just covered.
So then you'll have less inside of that and less packing inside of this. This is a really good idea to do.
Does that blow out up there? Air blow out?
In, out. So when you do blow them out, usually if you're saying it's dirty, it's going to be every day that you blow it out. And don't go sideways, because sideways will bend the little thingies, and if they're all bent up, this reduces the power of this. So straight on like that, and the dust will be coming out. So usually I stand to the side and I put a mask because it's gonna be dirty, pretty dirty. Every year on the bottom side, you should open it up because it's like a drying machine. It collects lint inside of this, and that's not really helpful either for the process of it all. So opening it up, it's for bolts, it has an hinge. You tilt it down, and to do so, before you go on to doing that, the procedure for safety is there's a big, it's easy to see, there's a big plug remove the plug, and then that's what you use to maintenance the fan or the inside of it, so you don't want the fan to come in. And to reset the fault, you just wait a couple of seconds for it to the power to die down, and you put it back, and this will reset any fault that could be given here with this when this lights up. When it's in the winter, there's a normal alarm when in the winter, because this is a AC unit, and inside of it there's an electronical equipment. They fear warmth, but they don't fear cold, and this is not able to warm up. So some of the time it'll show an alarm when it's real cold, when it's not able to get a set point of 24 degrees. It's in Celsius right now, but I'll change it to Fahrenheit. I don't exactly know how many Fahrenheit is 24. It's probably 85 or something like that. And when it's not able to reach it, it'll set up an alarm, and that's why, because it's too cold. And if you've ever, there's a Rital on the internet. Rital will give up every fault. I think there's inside of the cabinet, there's folder with all those parts that you could read to find out what the error is that I'll be showing. I think it's 104 or something like that. I don't remember by heart. This is a air collection hose. It's got a loopy here. They will collect. There will always, in the summer, there's always like a drain.
Where does it go down there, on somebody's head, or?
It goes inside the panel. It's just not to have a slippy, slidey area here. It'll drip here inside of that.
Will that go down on a belt, or will that go down?
No, not on the belt. It's going to be on the floor,
okay,
but midway inside of that, so it doesn't create a puddle where people actually walk.
Yeah,
if you don't leave the door open, it won't do much water because it's sealed up. There's a seal here. If you leave the door open, it will completely drain out all of the time, and you might have a puddle till here. And it's not suggested to keep it open because all that will collect dust, and this will be a nightmare in the future. So this is the 101 on the optics. This is done when you do the PMI. We take care of this. We open this up, we wash this, wash the inside, and we do a full maintenance on it every either month or every 6 months or year, depending on how many you took. This is the, pardon me?
Can we put those in Fahrenheit?
Yes, I think I could put that in Fahrenheit for you. I think I could, but I'll have to check out. It's doable. It's just I need to remember. I don't remember actually. There's a lot of buttons in there that press to get access to it. But I'll put it in Fahrenheit for you guys.
Same up there.
So this is the actual railing. So there's a brake here, red brake. It's kind of just a strap brake that gets loose when you open that, and then you take it all in.
The platform.
There's a platform so you can stand and you're not on the belt. So it makes it safer, makes it easier for, and that's the lock for your platform. This has removed, as you can tell, the safety, and then you'd be ready to go sorting. For those green lights that are safety door switches, okay? Those, if they're flashing green, it means unclosed, but somewhere in the loop before me, because it won't tell you after, before me, there's one that's open. So if it's the last one, every other one will tell you that they're flashing green, saying, oh, no, this first one, sorry. If it's somebody in front, they'll tell you, hey, one of them is open. And if it's afterwards, the first one, the other ones won't tell you. Okay. Or either or, I don't exactly remember which way around it is, but
you can kind of get an idea of
where it is. Yes, that's it. If it's red, meaning not open, and sometimes, okay, these has two metal plates. They have to go exactly at the same times. If by any chance it did not go exactly the same time, this can tell you I'm okay, but the PLC might say no, they have not closed exactly at the same time.
Close the door, kind of.
Yeah,
one latches.
exactly. So if you have problem, a good thing would be go around. If there's a spook or something fishy that you don't understand, go around, do all the doors, make sure you open them and close them one more time, and then try to reset. If there's still a problem, then you would go into this side, I think. Here, now there's a lot of people here, but this side is okay to open, okay? This is only low voltage, 24 volts, and this is all safe. But this side is only for electrician. And I've got a trick to show. I'm not sure if you want me to show it, how to open it when it's live. Because electrician, I'm able to do it because I'm an electrician, but there's a lot of people here that I might not be electricians. So it's going to be your call if I'm showing how to open it or not.
He's our electrician, he can tell you.
Yeah, I know the bypass is right here, right?
Yes. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, okay. So let's say everybody that's not an electrician, close your eyes and do not do this. Yes, if you're not.
LCP panels.
Yes, exactly. It's the same thing. Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. So everybody close their eyes except electricians. So then I got a little thingy on my, to make it easy. Oops, sorry. So this is open. So this is the unsafe part. All the high power is coming in from here and going down here, all the breakers. If something's tripped, there's two in and away breakers here. They're safe, they're 24 volt, but they're more sneaky. They're at a different place.
Yeah.
I actually forgot about them when I started up, and I said, oh, what's that working? So here's all the high power breaker. If there's one trip, you can put it back on. If it trips again, then you need to take the plans and look to where it's about. Like, madness is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So then it could trip and you reset it and it's all fine. That's how usually what I do it. I trip them out. If it re-trips, especially if you see sparks coming out, then you need to go to the schematics and figure it out.
Eventually it won't trip and it'll tell you what's wrong.
Yeah. Something will burn. Yeah. But then it's fast.
Yeah, that is quick.
That is quick. That's all right.
Yeah, exactly.
So everybody hear me again? Are you still good with the mic? The CB? No. No good with the CB. Nobody told me.
Let me see.
No, okay. My tie wrap was not tight enough. Shit. Okay, let me try to wedge something in there.
I think the zip tie slipped.
Yeah. Okay, am I good now? Yes? Okay.
So anything specifically that you want to tell Jesus, he's our electrical guy?
Yeah, that's what I'll go around and explain a little bit. So breaker, you already know what's what. So here's the terminal. We use TB names to make it easier. You customize, you add a plant, so it's the same thing as before in Machine X. So TB, all the wires should be identified. This is the PLC. Warning lights are here if there's something red. There's usually a problem. What I wanted to go into is the doors. Okay. See, there's two signals there, channel 1 and channel 2. If both of them are not there, then you have a problem. So this is where you need to go if there's a... Okay, I don't think it likes to have the press.
Stay on all the time.
No, I don't think so. I'll start it up again. Okay, so this is the master control relay. Okay. So if it's not pulled in, the safety's not on.
What's wrong with your safety?
So I'm telling you, if you want to press it with the screwdriver,
you can pull it off.
I use this, shove it in, I'll hold it, and then you can start reset fault, and then you'll see if it's inside of your cabinet or outside of your cabinet. So I'll leave it. Shoot. So this is electronical breaker. If it's red there, you just push and reset, same as these ones here. These go orange or red, and you reset them by, see? See, Jesus?
Yeah.
I push this one, I clear this one. It's like we didn't have any space for all those.
All those breakers.
Yeah, so we have electronical breakers for that. This is a CT. So, sorry about the CB. It does not really work all the time. If I press it all the time, it starts telling me that. Anyway, we're in an electronical business, and it's only him. I'll start over a little bit again. So here's CT for your for lighting, and but I don't think you need this one because I think it's only for another set of lighting that you don't have, but they still put it in there. Okay. So power supplies here like that. Communication. If there's any issue with TeamViewer, internet is that's a switch. That's the other switch.
Yeah.
Start the computer. Shoot. Close the computer. Took. Here is your power supply for the lighting. It'll show an error that if there's no current here, it means that you're not having any output of, and it will tell you alarm. Usually tell you resetting them. If there's a power failure, you can reset them by cycling them. First thing to do probably. UPS. That's an Eaton UPS. If I won't do it because it'll do a hard crash on the computer. Yeah. But to start that's meaning, okay, I'm out. Yeah, we're outputting. If I press on that, it'll shut that down. So the procedure, probably if you don't want to power cycle it, by there, doing full power cycle and waiting 10 minutes, because this will hold for 10 minutes. What I do is I go like that. Shut down like a normal computer.
Yeah.
I wait for this to shut down. The other rest can hard shut down. It does not have any real consequences for the rest. But this hard shut down.
Shut down the computer. Yeah.
Yeah, hard shut down computer is not that great. So I wait a little bit there. It's showing me that the SSD and everything, and then I press this, and then you can power the rest off. And then I usually count to 15. See, those are maybe safety relays, and they would be powered by the
main.
Yeah. So this won't whenever shut down. So let's say it's been 15 seconds. Then you gotta do the reverse procedure. Since you shut it down by the UPS, it won't start on its own. So you repress you wait for a couple of seconds, then
it'll come back.
Yeah, this will start on its own, and this.
Okay, the computer starts on its own.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We have the BIOS
The BIOS.
doing the on reboot. If you did not wait long enough, it should start on its own. Let them get a couple of seconds. It should start on its own. Either way, you press on the. I thought it would start on its own. I'll have to check that. So let's say I try to boot it on its own. Well, it's not the boot one. Let's say this. So okay, I'll have to check if on the BIOS it's.
Oh, that's just a restart.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a little filter here. You'll see it getting dirty. Maybe when you open it, you see it, and when it's dirty, you slide it out, and you just blow air through it. Yeah. But usually when you keep the door open, you don't have to put it in your schedule. You'll see it when it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Will there be a message about it, or
No, not those. No, yeah. When you open the door, you'll see it's gonna have dust all around where the filter enters there, and you'll say, "Oh, it's time," and you just
is that the only filter there?
Yeah, that's the only filter. Yeah. So I would not suggest going, blowing in air inside. This is the same principle as the fan. Don't want to rev very high speed.
Some water in there too.
Yeah, but you have a dryer. If your dryer is not working, then your humidity in there will go up, and there will be a warning. Your optical will say, hey, there's too much humidity inside of your hair, but there's actually a dryer there's another dryer inside of it. I'll show you how to. I'll show the guys. You do it once in a while. You try to see if there's water, and you open it up, and then it will show. Yeah, there's a kind of a drain. Those are really really nice air setup. So, yep, go ahead. So there should be one in there all the time, and I think there's some also in the main panel for the optic.
I'd probably like to get a copy of it just to have it.
Yeah, what I would say, what I would ask is ask your part specialist to send you a PDF of it, because then you can do Control F.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I want to scan it or something. And
no, don't scan it. We'll send you a PDF. It's even better than scanning it, because then you can do Control F and say SR1, and it'll go directly on SR1 and scan. That's what I use, and it makes life so much simpler. I don't actually have a copy now, but maybe if we talk next week, I could download it and pass it on USB for you.
Before I leave, I can give you my card, and you can email it to me or something.
Are you here today? Will you be here next week?
I don't know. That's up to Tony. Will I be here next week?
I don't think so. I think we wanted you just to take the training on this. Rest of it's running.
Okay.
Okay.
It's possible though that we may want to come back and see if there's something going on here.
Yeah. But I don't okay, I'll touch wood. I don't expect him to be needing to come back. I'll be here. Yeah. But for what I'm saying, a tool that's really powerful for an electrician is having the PDF of the schematics.
Yeah, I just wanted a copy of it just to have it.
Because you can do Control F, and Control F would be fine, and then it pops up and you write down your comment of what you need to search, and it searches automatically inside of the schematics. So you don't have to go page by page. Yeah. So you understand what I mean? So it's so much easier. It makes life. So I think we send you. I think we send you copies while we do the plant, but they don't usually go to the guy that really needs it.
If you send it to Tony,
you understand what I mean?
Tony can get it to me. You can give me a copy. Yeah.
Cool. So I'll shut it down. It starts that automatically because you need to know that those need to work because they'll have high temperature but this is in the PLC. It's made like that. You just reset and then it's good.
Okay.
That's all about the electricity here. Let's move along to a little bit on the conveyor side that you were asking me questions about. So this is what controls the tracking of the belt. If ever it flashes blue, it means that it went to the sensor that I'll show you a little bit later. Alarms, and you need to track it. If it's flashing, if you press on it, it will start moving the belt. You got to remove the lockout here because if it's locked out, it won't ever move. But usually when this will flash, it will not be locked. But if there's somebody on the belt and this is flashing and you press on it, this will start to move the belt. So it's whenever you press on that, you gotta make sure that there's nothing on the belt that could be ruined or anything human or animal or whatever, to be sure that you don't hurt anybody. Usually a good thing to have here is snaky, because now there's a lot of them. Which one is actually mine? It could be confusing. There's snakes like that you go and you do that, and you pass the snaky around and just lock one. So that makes it,
Thing out.
yeah, that makes it simpler.
Now,
But
that represents that safety zone.
yeah, that's just all the conveyors that are in my general area. Because there's blower here, there's a blower there, there's a conveyor, there's 2 other conveyors there. There's this that you might get material that's coming from here. So this is where you need to lock out, tag out. If you're not certain which motor you need to tag out or whatever, on the motor there'll be a tag written 108 or whatever the motor is, and yes, that's it. It'll tell you what the motor is, and then you go and lock out what you need to lock. This is the disconnect for the air. You can hear it when I, yes, you can hear it. It removes the air that are inside of those balloons that do the tracking from side to side on this auto tracking. So this is something that you could use when you're changing a belt. You need to remove the air from it because this will loosen the tension on the belt and make you able to work on it because it won't be tight. So this here, E, is the sensors that are used to see the belt. So there are laser. You can see my fingers. There's a laser there and a laser there. This senses where the belt is with those 2 sensors, and this is what makes it track from one side to the other. If ever one of their sensor need to be changed, you can readjust your sensor's movement placement with this. You see, this is not exactly at the right place, but it does not matter much. This is kind of 1 millimeter off, but let's say I pull it in, it should be like that. The laser should go through this tracking. It's just to get you in the ballpark where those ones are. This is written here, the alarm and tracking. You can't see it much because it's a laser engraved on the aluminum. And this is what's we're using to track up the belt. To adjust them, it's just 2 screws, one on the bottom, one in the front, and you just adjust it in so you get the laser to go through this slit here to use to put it in the bar part. This is the, now it's showing 1. Usually it will show 60. This is the air pressure regulator to put pressure in those balloons to move it from one side to the other. The principle is when it's low, it's trying to move the belt towards the low. When it's high, it's trying to push the belt to the other side. So it'll go from one low, high, low, and those balloons will deflate and inflate, so it'll move the belt to track it with those 2 lasers. So that's the auto tracking. There's exactly the same thing like that, the pressure regulator on the other side, that will tell you the pressure. So
Yeah, your bar.
okay, so now I'll be going on top of the conveyor. So this one, this is the rollers, A and B. I won't be fussing there, and I don't have 3 locks, so for now I'll just lock up this one. So what you do there, I'll be the only one going up there, and I'll show you from afar. I'll try to push that down. Let me try to make a little bit of space. These panels are not made for human weight. So if you go on top of it, they will collapse, and after that you'll get troubles because they will go into your flow because they've been busted. So they're more expensive than you know, so try to take good care of them because they're tough to ship because they're so wide. But if you don't go on top of them, they're really stiff, and yeah. So remove them if you need to go there, and don't ever walk on them. And if the conveyor is on, don't ever go there. It won't support your weight, and then it would be super dangerous. So opening the door creates an alarm, fault alarm. Oh, again. Okay. Something you need to do, I would say mostly every day, is the skirting. You take something like that. Yeah. And never put your hand underneath the skirtings. That's where the needles are. The needle will try to go there. So if you put something in your hands, you'll get stung. That's not what you want to do. Something like that, metal, and you run it.
Clean everything out. And
Yeah. If you have glasses, you can use the air. There's a. Oh. Yes, I'll need to order a new one because I don't see there's air nozzle here. The other one has this one. This one I didn't find it yet. Maybe it's about down there, but it's got an air hose.
They both got a connector on it.
Yeah, they have a connector on this side and they have a connector on the other side. This air supply for the tracking is coming from here. And there's a little valve there. If somebody closes this little valve, it will shut down the air supply to the balloons. And this is the white hose here that is connected. That white hose that's running around on the bottom is connected just here inside. So,
if you don't have air pressure to the airbags, it could be turned off up there.
It could be turned off up there. So this is a good way to check it out. If not, what I used to do, if I don't want to come here, I unplug it. I push and unplug it. If air comes out, I've got air. Yeah. And just the valve, showing it off and on, you'll hear the psh.
Okay.
So this panel, electrical panel, can be opened from the other side. There's so you open it up. This is the valve to remove the air from the optical. You can use this one. This is a normal ball valve here. This one does not have lock tag out. So this one, if you want to lock out, tag out, you can put a lock here. Let's say you're messing with the air overnight or something and you don't want the air to come back, you can lock it, tag out here to do it. Those are regular valve regulator. They should not be touched. I've set them to the proper pressure. This is the upper valve. This should be always at 80. And this is the lower valve. That should be always at 100. So, and this one, there's actually a sticker telling them never to mess with this one, and it's already tagged on it. This here is where you drain it. So if there's any liquid in there, there's a side glass here. I'll show you if there's any liquid in it. And to drain it out, you just twist the twingy, the blue thingy underneath, and water should come out if there's any water in it. So it will self-close. It's just spring loaded, and then I think if you turn out the air and there's liquid in it, it'll start to drip. So that will be a set point of saying, hey, maybe you should open it while there's pressure. While there's pressure, it'll shoot out more and it'll clean itself a little bit better. There's one on each side, one there behind this one and this one.
How often do you need to drain the cartridges there?
All depends on your system.
Okay.
If your dryer works well, never.
Okay. But it's manual, right? There isn't an auto button. Yeah.
No. But if you close the air here, I think they will drip out on their own.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. So if you start seeing water there when you shut the air down, then start saying maybe they're full and maybe the dryer is not working properly.
Okay.
These are the Peltier effect that gives us the temperature that we saw earlier on the previous video. So this needs to be cleaned with a hair gun underneath here on the fins, and never here where the fan is, because you'll spin up the fan, and those fans don't like to be spun up at turbo type speed. So if there's something that's caught here, usually take your hand and remove the bag that could be there or something that could be stuck there, but don't go running around there. Just blow air, dust will come out from the other end. Those are fins that way, and this should be clean every night. So there's 4 of them on this. These warning will tell you what's what. This bar will be coming off, so you don't have to go like that. I just didn't have time to do it yet. The tarps are not gonna stay there, so
It looks so good though.
so that's about it. Underneath, there's straps to get access to the camera. I will lock them up and I will give the supervisor the key. You should not go in there. If you put your fingers on the lens, it'll ruin the lens. If you mess inside of that, those are like really expensive cameras, like really expensive. So if yeah, like more than a car, more than 2 cars. So they're expensive. So if it should not go in there. I'll leave the key for it to, if the technician needs to go in there, but it would surely be supervised by us because they're really expensive.
Okay.
Don't go walking on side of the, this is called the cassette. This is fully extruded metal, extruded aluminum, so it needs to stay pristine, not bented. Don't put heavy material in. You should not go on it. So if you have to, try to walk on the railing here. I know it'd be dangerous. If you could put some metal over it to go and walk about it, but don't step on the cassette. That is where the camera, it's precise angles of camera, so if you bent it down just a little bit, it strangely affects it. Somebody on it could change the spectral analysis of it all. So
Why?
okay, so skirting here, I've done that. Okay, I'll show you how to put back the wind tunnel. There'll be 2 more wind tunnels on there. So when this will be all closed down, there'll still be 2 panels. You can do the maintenance without going to underneath it. So they'll be left there all the time. You might need to slide it if there's something that you need to do, like changing a belt or something like that. But usually you leave them there. This is the 2 panels that are staying there. So to put it back, I'll have to use both of my hands. So what I do, I tilt this one back like that. And with 2 hands, I slide this one. Sometimes it wedges a little bit, and then wiggling it helps, because if it's 2 people, it goes really well, because sometimes it kind of wedges a little bit, and that's it. To put it back on, you help it out a little bit like that, and then flip this one like that. You don't need to flip this one if you don't want to, because you can cross a little bit there, but don't step on it. So it's better if it's like that, but if you're alone, I understand in going the quicker route and not opening it up.
When you put the other panels on, do they have to go on before this goes down?
Yes, they will always stay there. This, and if you need to see the material, I would suggest using those one. But do 2 people operation. If you do drop them and the conveyor, it could like create a havoc.
So they don't fold up, you just lift those off.
Yes, those are like,
Said to the side to look, but you
for these, they'll be on there all the time. You won't, you'll want maybe to remove it if you're doing a belt, or but usually for maintenance, they don't need to be removed. So I need to have access for now, so I didn't put them on already. So, but next week, they'll be on all the time, because the wind will, if they're not there, it will affect the wind tunnel a little bit, because the wind tunnel is for bags to be at the same speed as the rest of the material. If they're not at the same speed, the bags are usually floating in midair, and the plastic will collide to it and it will be ejected at the same time. So that's why wind tunnel, like dry fiber, does a little bit the same effect. So yeah, that's it. So let me get a check. We'll go inside of the. I'll do a little bit of a check. Plaque de calibration, démarrage, pas de marche sur le tunnel d'air, ouais. Skirt, c'est fait, air climatisé, TK, passer d'air dans les gardes moteurs. Okay, this is good too. This will be all closed up. So this is getting neglected usually. Now, those panels are not there, but this is usually getting neglected, and there's like in your dryer, this will get like a 2-inch of lint there. So once in a while, there's a guard with, you can see, but I'd say maybe once a month, go open that up. There's just 2 bolts. I won't go on and tighten those. I leave them usually finger tight, so you can remove them easily. But it'll be your choice to have a tool or not to open that up.
Over here too, or just over here?
There's just one on this side. Yeah.
One up there on that.
Yeah, same on the other optical. But because there's a panel, they get neglected because people don't see them. But I'm telling you, cadenassage, that's done. Tower lights done. Metric machine. Every tool on this machine is metric. So you got to remember, metric Allens. Metric, everything's metric. So Allen, especially if you want to remove a valve, don't use standard, because you'll strip them, and they're like, I think it's a 2 millimeter for the valves, but I'll check with you. I've got it.
Don't forget your Allen in there.
Yeah, that's why I put them in there, to show you a little bit when I will go inside. The metal detector. This is your metal detector right here. So you shouldn't have to mess with that at all.
The red box?
Red box there in the middle. So this is where your metal is being detected. You shouldn't mess with that. There's no maintenance to do on this. But if you need to know where it is, this is where it is. Electric.
How often should we blow that out again? Once a month, twice a month?
You'll see. There's like sharp kind of fins on the side that you can see it, but once a month should be a good standard. If you're welding on some stuff, it would be good to shut it down. It's really sensible, electronical, and we've upgraded a lot in grounds. We've put like 1-0 grounds all over the place, but shutting it down when you're welding is always a good thing. Cleaning out the rollers. So I'll get into inside of this if you want to. Oh, can you roll down the? Could I ask you to roll it down, please, for me? Yeah. Yep. Brake. Handle a brake, yep. This would push this motor aside.
Oh, there it goes.
Yep. The gate of it goes with this motor, so everything's out of the way. Okay.
That's what we'll be doing, right?
Yes, I think so. So I'm going to start by showing you the upper nozzle bar here. So you open it like that, with and there's 2 pins on each side to open it up. So here we go. Then you have to close up the air, which is already done right now, and I'll show you how to do it a little bit later on in the video. So you take your 2 millimeter, so everything in this machine is metrical, so 2 millimeter Allen, and then there's a little bit of a hole there. It's gonna be easier when I'll show you the the bottom one. So lefty loosey, righty tighty. So it'll be opposite side because you're going from the bottom end, and you gently remove this Allen up, which unlocks this valve there. So I'm gonna twist it, then you remove it as such, and you replace it with a new one. You gotta make sure that O-ring is there and it's not stick there. You wash a little bit this, and then you take the new valve. You gotta take needle nose. This is normal. This is dielectric grease. Putting some new grease on a new valve would be good, but if you don't have any, it should be fine too. Then either with your what's it called?
Thumb?
No, the
Nail?
nail. Yeah, with your nail or a long nose screwdriver, a long nose plier, you hold the white part and just wiggle it back and forth like that to remove the connector. Don't pull on the wires because they'll strip, and then you'll have problem. You'll need to rewire all of this, and it'll be complicated. But when you buy a new valve, there's always those wire that comes in, but it's a longer process. You need to remove all that, and you can go without it because the wires are not usually the thing that will go wrong. So this is how you remove a valve. You go back underneath it and you tighten up the little screw that opposite of that, and then you wiggle it from side to side. See, there's a little bit of wiggle there on the valve, so then you tighten it up a little bit more. Using the short end will give you less leverage and less chance of stripping the valve. See, when it's tight, snug there, it should not leak. A good process would be to go back, open the air, and recheck if there's leaks on the side, but usually when it's snug like that, it should not be leaking. So I'll put that back because I'll lose it. I'll close back the so you make sure that this is locked in so it does not open while sorting. So this is for the upper ejection bar. For the maintenance of the light, you should do this one first. Unlock it like that, and come here, hold this lever, open it up, and then boom, you have access to the lighting cabinet. Washing it will only be on this side 95% of the time. If after washing it, if you see that there's a little bit of dust inside of it, you can open it such like that. I try to keep an hand on it so it doesn't, but it's got a piston, so, but keeping an hand on it when it's cold, the piston might not have the same. Never wash the inside because this is scratchy, and if you wash it with anything else than lens proper material, it will scratch the inside and you'll have less light in your optical. So if ever you need to have it washed, consult Machine X and they'll tell you the procedure to have it washed, but it's a full-on procedure that is a little bit more complicated. Usually a technician does that. To remove one of the bulbs, you need gloves. You need a plastic glove because you can't touch the halogen bulbs. The oil on your finger will ruin those bulbs. They're just removable by hand, so it's very like a normal light bulb. If there's a little bit of dust inside, usually a dry cloth will remove all that by just scraping. If there's a little bit of dust in there, in some case, blowing air in it will get it out. Don't do it as only if there is buildup of air, of dust inside of it. I would suggest when you first open it to go blow air on this ledge, so when you open it, it does not fall inside. So this is sealed by rubber, so it should not get dusty inside. So it should be very rare that you need to do open it, and if it's not for changing a bulb. When you do wash, this is the camera side. So there's a glass in here. This is the glass. There's a mirror at 45 angle, which camera sees. That bounces back to these 45 mirrors and look down on to the conveyor side. So twist it back like that. Lock it down. Lock the other side down. And this is it. For the bottom part here, there's the air knife here for keeping air pressure on this side so it does not, the plastic bags and dry paper does not fall into this chute. We keep air pressure to create kind of a bubble of air for the paper to ride back to the upper ejection here. To open this one up to get access to the valve, there's two clips here, two hinges, not hinges, but pin that you need to remove. And the other one is here. I tend to, with my hip, tend to hold it up a little bit and then drop it down. I'm gonna take my 8mm Allen wrench and open the lock here, and here to get access. On this nozzle bar, since the liquid will tend to drop, there's that rubber seal that prevents most of it, but some of it will leak here. We put electrical tape on the little holes that I've shown that were underneath. Now they're on top because it's upside down. And then you remove this tape, and then you can remove the valve itself. I suggest putting back some tape to prevent this Pepsi or any liquid that would be gummy to enter those little holes and plug them up. So they're so tiny that they could get filled, and after that you need to clean them before you remove them, and this is making it more complicated. Tape is a good solution for that. This is 2mm, I didn't say it before, but 2mm for that. For the little set screw. Set screws are good to have, since anytime that you have a rough one, I suggest to replace them. They cost little, and having a new one, if it's tough, because when they strip, they're hell to put back. If ever, when you try to remove one, you sense that it's stripping and you're not able to pull it out, don't go any further. Call and we'll give you the procedure to remove them. Because if you can't put it back, then your nozzle bar won't seal, and there will be no air pressure going to your valve, and then the machine will be down. So being careful on those little set screws is crucial. It's normal that there's a little bit of air here coming out. That's called permanent air. It prevents dust from going in. So there's always at all time 10 psi going through this to prevent the contaminants to go inside of the valve. this scraper here is needs to be cleaned daily. If there's ever a bottle cap or any glass, this rubs down on the belt and it could ruin it really quick. I left my adjustment, so this is I think 3 or 2 millimeters away from the belt. You need to leave a little bit of a gap because you don't want the scraper to run on the belt. This would rub and break down the belt faster. If ever you get a tear and you need to put cleats or a tie that are sold to maintain the belt, you can loosen that and take the adjustment that you have to have about, I think, half an inch of gap, so that this cleat will be able to pass with this scraper. If it's too big, I would suggest to run the belt real slow, because if this cleats run into this, you'll bend this, and this is going to be trouble along the road if it's bent. So this rubber is an add-on that I put. I wanted to prevent material from getting between this and this to help with the cleaning. So if you find that it's more trouble than it's worth, you can remove the self-tappings and remove the rubber altogether. But I think it's going to be a good help in the long run for maintenance, cutting a little bit of the maintenance where it could be prevented. To put it back, I put it at the middle position there, just a little bit above, because if it's not, you won't have. Whoop. Ok, c'est l'autre bord. Ok, give me a second. Yes. There we go. Come on. Okay. Then just flex it down. Because if you flex it down before, since usually it would be better to be 2 people, one at each end, because it's a little bit heavy. And then you just fold it down like that. And shove it a little bit in to be away from the material that would go down, so it doesn't bounce on it and go into the different gate. So that's about it here. Those rollers, they have a rubber here. Some material will roll and get caught between it. Cleaning the other side of it is a good idea. There's 2, one up top, one below. The one below moves. It'll be about that area when the gate is at the sorting position. When I was talking to you about cleaning out the scraper, if it's pretty full and there's a lot of material, you could probably see that there's going to be a buildup in underneath. To get rid of that buildup, you lift this lever, and there's exactly the same lever on this side, which you won't be able to see, but you lift it up and then you tilt it back Why does it? Okay, I'll have to see why. Okay, usually it'll hold like that, and then you clean the underside of it. Something's dragging somewhere. I don't know exactly. I'll have to figure it out. But usually it'll be tilted like that, and you clean the outside here for the buildup that it could be created with the material that slides between it. So if there's a lot of buildup, I've seen there packed full of shards of glass that was making the contour of this, rubbing on this like sandpaper all the time. So this is ruining the belt very quickly. So this is something that needs to be done at least once a week, depending on the moistness of how moist the material is and how much fine the ballistic lets go through on this side. This is the calibration bar here. This has to be really pristine. I'll show you a little bit how to make it perfect with the material that we have. These have two clips like that. Okay, they go into this notch here. If you want to look, there's a little bit of a notch here like that, and you enter it like that on this notch. So this goes like this inside of it, and then have it like that. What's important is that's being level. I'll have to do the other side for it to be level. So here I do a little bit of a wiggle like that to make sure this is level here and this is level, and I go to the other side here and do the same. See now, this is not inside, so you push it around there and you get it into the groove so it's flush like that in the bottom, and then wiggle it a little bit so this is flush and this is parallel to the camera that's up top. So that's how you put the camera, the calibration bar. I'll show you. I'll remove it completely from the So I'll go just there here. So this is the paint. You need to have exactly this paint. You've got 3 other cans back there. High contrast paint. If you use anything else, it will not do. So this is the thing. Shake it properly for about 2 minutes. Then in the kit that I'll show you a little bit later, there's a sandpaper. So sand it down so it's perfectly smooth. Don't sand it back to the metal. Just make it that all. This is a kind of a granular type of paint. It leaves some little kind of particles. When you put your fingers, you'll feel them. And then you fume it. You go and do like that. You don't paint it really at the same time. It's more fume than anything else, because if you put too much, it will show. So a way to know if you did a good job is to go and see when it's dry that it doesn't have that like tiger spotting. It should be even white and non-reflective. If it's shiny, you won't get good results. So I don't know if you want to look, I'll shine a light. It's all nice and matte. Yeah, that's it. In the kit, they've got sandpaper in it, and those are the gloves to use for when you want to change a bulb. So those are valves that we give you, spare valves, to make sure that you've got a little bit of a couple of spares. This is the other panel. Since this is a wider optical, there's another panel on this side which has a small power supply for the safety and another breaker. So sometimes it's good to look on this side to see if those breakers are not tripped, and that's something I forgot to say. And on the other side here, there's this is the dryer. This is where the air comes in. This is where the air comes in to dry out the cassette, where the cameras are. There's a charcoal filter here and desiccant balls here that are controlled with a solenoid that lets air enter the cassette, dry air enter the cassette to keep it completely always at 35% humidity. So this is the dryer. This probably a little bit of moisture from the startup of the airline. So those, if they start getting red like that all the way around, means that this needs to be replaced with a new dryer component. So yeah, if it's all red, then you need to figure out what's happening with your dryer, main dryer near the compressor. So that's the dryer for the cassette.